Well, it's been a long time. I had intended to keep doing the best and worst monster list every so often. I guess I was so interested in working on other things, I just kept putting it off. Want to apologize, it's been way too long. But let's move on to the subject. If I had the option, this list would be filled with Elgar, but he's a general. This is about monsters. It's kind of hard to pick what monsters were bad. Did they fail since they were stuck with crummy detonator plots, or Carranger's footage conflicting with Turbo? If you have a suggestion or a topic you'd like me to cover, leave a comment. I might pick it one day.
Shadow Chromite.
PR's millionth obligatory Evil Ranger episode. I think this is the weakest one they made. We've had putties turn into Rangers, robot Rangers that were gonna take over, pure evil ones, but these guys were made out of light. It was a really dumb weakness. Anything that this character made, it vanished if you were able to cancel out his light source. Even himself vanished. It's a horrible problem. Plus the detonator vanished with him. I don't understand how that worked. The detonators are made by AVCHD, not Shadow Chromite. The only thing that you could say, anything he touches gets converted to light. That actually would be a better weapon. The idea had potential, but totally useless if you were attacking at night, and you wonder why AVCHD gets really mad at these guys.
Delicious Mill.
We've had monsters turn people into zombies with purple goo, eat food uncontrollably, so let's use tacky shirts to brainwash people. This never worked for me for a few reasons. First, they looked horrible. Not a lot of people are gonna want them. Second, the moment when people go nuts, everyone else is just gonna run away. The Rangers can just blow them up, stopping people from grabbing more. Plus, you could just pull them off. I'll admit, it was funny seeing Blue Centurion have the shirt over his shoulder lights. There's better ways in using the population to give the Rangers problems. Even Zeo's falling in love with appliances was better. At least some would get killed by trying to kiss a plane.
Wicked Wisher.
Oh, this type of magic. It's really hard to make stories with this. I'm gonna always ask the obvious. What's stopping AVCHD to just wish the Rangers away? So they had to create this convoluted problem. The monster has to make coins to do the wishes. He can't do them personally for some reason. They get lost in the dumbest of ways, so they had to go get the coin back. It was a very contrived episode. AVCHD loses not one, but two monsters in the same episode. Then you have the problem of magic limit. He can only make 3 magic coins. There has to be a time limit or a user limit, so they could have just waited and got more. It is a nitpick, but that's what happens when you do stories like this. The best example done with wishes is Dark Wish from Mystic Force. They got a Gingy, wish for the Rangers to be gone. It's a loophole in the wish, but I buy it. And they have to get the wish reversed. It's a great 3-parter.
Torch Tiger.
Well, we get to see why AVCHD's monsters suck. If any military group teaches monsters like Torch Tiger, they're a lost cause. I can see why AVCHD sent for her brother, even though he really doesn't help. Torch Tiger is such an idiot. He fails right off the bat. Only because of a mistake does he get the upper hand on the Rangers by using their booster fuel. It's kind of cool that he has a fuel tank. I wonder if he could eat or drink other things, like could he eat people for fuel? Again, Carranger couldn't go past the card theme. This guy had potential if he got scarier, like say his intelligence was determined on what he ate. So the Rangers had to figure out feeding him, say, soap would have made him stupid, while feeding him rocket fuel would have made him smart. It could have been a tug of war between Porto and the Rangers, and they could have still played out funny.
Shrink-a-Sec.
Another monster with a very powerful ability, but not used in a proper way. Shrink-a-Sec had the power to shrink himself and others to the size of bees, with the added bonus of turning humans into actual bugs. The idea is fine, it's crazy and it's a joke on Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but they always have this problem. He shrunk down to get inside of Blue Centurion to screw up his wires. At no point did anyone ever hitch a ride on him and sneak into the power chamber. This could have been used to do a much better episode in finding the location, rather than, I'm Elgar and Rygog, I'm just walking around near Vezka's rocks when nothing to do, la-di-da, oh, teleporting Rangers. PR just can't do shrinking episodes well. This happened again in Power Rangers Ninja Storm, another bee guy not trying to find the base.
Crash and the Creeps.
One of those mocking Ranger teams. They really weren't fun. Most of them were boring. They did have human forms when they tried to take over people. Their designs were joking on the Rescue Megazord. 4 of them just died by the Turbo Ram. At least it was the team finisher, unlike the next guy on the list. While the red one was the only one to fight the Megazord. I don't get why this happens a lot. When there's a group of monsters, they get blown up, but then only one usually ends up fighting big. Why have 5 monsters and not use all of them? It wasn't like there's a limit. In Carranger, they feed them food to grow big. In Turbo, they're torpedoes. This could have been something interesting, something like the Psycho Ranger. Use 1 or 2 monsters over multiple episodes. Didn't need to waste all the monsters in one shot.
Wolfgang Amadeus Kriller.
None of this monster made sense. His ability was to conduct and control cars, so they could fly around, blow up, and go into orbit? Power Rangers always has dumb monsters, but they should have some sort of sense. The monster relies on his conductor wand to move the cars, so just knock it out of his hand, destroy it, and he becomes useless. Trick him into going to the famous rock quarries. He's got no ammo now. His appearance also didn't make much sense. He controls cars, but is covered by railroad tracks. So does he control all kinds of vehicles or just cars? Is this where Tokuger got their suit design from? He was also killed off by Tommy and Saturnian with their regular weapons, with no Megazord fight. He was such a weak, sad villain. This is all caused by the way they had to cut stuff from the original Carranger episode, unfortunately making him worse.
Blazinator.
Carranger really went far with the car stuff, to the point of making this thing. I do like it when the show does unconventional monsters like underwater fights, monsters that use tank treads, but when they start using fire trucks or spinning wheels, I check out. Even making CGI cars wouldn't have helped. Possessing cars and turning them into monsters just doesn't work for me. If it was a car that turned into a humanoid monster, they've done that before, it would have been fine. Flying around with a stupid grinning face fails. It's more of a dumb pet than a monster. It's worse when the Megazord has to fight in this slow fashion since the prop is limited. Plus it brings up problems. The detonators can transform cars into living monsters? How come that doesn't keep happening? Or even better, turn a building into a monster? It's already ridiculous as it is.
Metal Mangler.
The dumbest monster I think ever on Power Rangers. So the Rangers build this super powerful magnet that's able to grab the space base. Great seeing the Rangers on the offensive for a change. So they then go and summon Metal Mangler. How low can the intelligence fall in this season? At this point I stopped caring about Divatox whining about her man when she herself allows a monster made of metal to jump down to Earth and get crushed by the Rangers' magnet. 10 out of 10 total failures. If this was a joke, it wasn't funny. Even Bulk and Skull wouldn't do this, and they've done a lot of dumb stuff as monkeys. If it was a bomb or something, that would make sense, but no. If it weren't for Mora's book monsters getting chopped up in a few seconds by Kruger, he'd be the fastest killed monster on the show. There's always going to be bad monsters on Power Rangers, but Carrangers really pushed it far. They tried going for this crazy comedy. After all, the season was all about car magic. It just doesn't work in Power Rangers' case. Luckily, PR got better dealing with these type of goofy episodes, either by changing them all the way or not using them at all if they couldn't. What monsters from Turbo did you hate? Call me picky, but there has to be some level of logic or even just sanity when it comes to the monsters. Looking back through these guys, Turbo was filled with a bunch of idiots. New episodes every Monday, fan commentaries every Tuesday. Next week I'll help people out on 10 Super Sentai seasons that are good for beginners. Sorry about not including stills in the video. Due to past fair use abuses from the various companies involved, I no longer feature them. Thank you for understanding. See you in the next video.